Hey guys, it's Tehi. We're moving on to the Soul Hunters. Real quick, this is what the actual arena looks like, but there is a huge circle that goes around with a green fire that actually traps you inside. Those of you that watch PTR testing know that you were actually able to get outside of the arena to reset the boss, and also just to go play around outside the arena. Obviously, that'll get fixed before it goes live, but this is actually how much space you have to fight in. So all of like this extra stuff is just for show. It has nothing to do with the actual boss fight. So we'll take it boss by boss here. So Adaris, kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be. The only question was how many of these debuffs were going to go out. I saw two, and it didn't really seem like it changed much on raid size. Maybe I didn't see raids big enough. Most of the raids I watched had about 22-ish players in, so maybe there's a certain breakpoint where you get three, or maybe just one, depending on the size of your raid. Essentially, there's these two puddles that are going to be on the ground. You have players go and collect them, and then they get this consume dot put all in them. I was seeing people dispel this off of their players at approximately 8 to 11 stacks. I was unable to actually trace how it was jumping to a new player once it got dispelled. I'm going to go off of my experience and say it'll jump to the closest person to the dispel target, but I could also see it going to another player. The other thing is I noticed the majority was ranged, if not all ranged, so maybe melee can't have it actually get dispelled to them. I'm not sure on that. Don't quote me on it, but just a thought that I'm having thinking back on the footage that I watched. So later in the fight, there's going to be these puddles that get spawned, and these people with the consume dot have to run into these puddles, and as they run into them and stand in the center, these will slowly start shrinking down until they eventually go away. So that's really all for Adaris before he goes to his intermission. When we go to Velarin, the hunt, which is this box that's happening here, there will be these circles put on your players that soak it. The end point is in the mage here, and you just can't be inside each other's circles or you're going to take extra damage. The debuff said in the dungeon journal that 8 seconds you'll take like 400% increased damage if you soak this again. So I was expecting it to be like multiple hunts in a row. That didn't happen. It was just one hunt and then it was done. So that was really all she did. She also obviously does like other, Blade Dance and other Havoc Demon Hunter abilities, but that was kind of about it. This giant box is the I-beam. This frontal is actually really, really big. This is probably maybe a little bit too big, maybe about that size. But it is a knockback. It will push people back. Tanks, you just point this to the outside of the room where no range, no healers, no melee are, and just take it yourself, and then that will be your taunt swap as soon as it ends. For Alyssa, she has essentially nothing going on. She has these collect souls. It's this green circle that will fall on the ground. It'll catch on fire, I guess is how I say it. And the tank is taking. I saw 2 souls per fracture hit. Maybe it was based off like how much they did or did not mitigate the tank hit. I'm not sure, but essentially one of your DPS has to go collect, or healer I guess too, has to go collect one of these souls. It'll put a dot on the DPS or healer that collects it for them, but this tank that got hit cannot go and collect it themselves. So just go collect. That's it. You'll put a dot on you, and that's all. So when we go to intermissions, this is Adaris' intermission. There's this black hole that's in the center of the room that's pulling in these fragments that are trying to reach the center. Essentially, you just have to collect them. It's going to put a 4-second dot on you every single time you grab a new one. Didn't seem like it was really doing that much damage. If you decide to take more than one, it will put a dot and refresh the amount of time on the dot for you as well. So obviously, it'll take more damage there, but honestly, kind of a nothing mechanic. Just collect and survive. Oh, and then obviously don't get pulled to the center. Velarin had a Kaiveza-like mechanic. So think of like Kaiveza Intermission, where you got like those purple lines on you, and you had to, put yourself in a good position so you weren't hitting other people the best you could, while also other people were putting themselves in a position to not get hit by yours, but also in a good position to that if they get the next line, that they're in a good position so that they get hit, so on and so forth. The only difference is like you're not going to get the area of denial like you got in Kaiveza, where you're forced into like certain pie slices. But that's kind of about it. There is no rhyme or reason, just like Kaiveza, about like why you get the shape of line or the direction of the line that you get. But it's literally just like Princess Kaiveza intermission all over again. So that's all she does. And then I had a very difficult time finding anything that Alyssa Dark Sorrow did in her intermission. I think I saw one that was just like the Infernal Strike, where she just kind of like jumps around and you just have to be out of the soak. But it really didn't seem like anything too big. But most people were actually killing this boss before, which is another thing. The way they go into intermission is when they hit 100% energy. But most people were actually killing the boss before Dark Sorrow was actually able to go into hit 100% energy and go into her own intermission. So kind of my thoughts about this fight. The tether kind of seemed like a non-factor. So in the intermission, you get tethered together and you can't move like outside of 15 yards from other players that you get tethered with. It kind of seemed like a nothing burger. Like it didn't seem like it impacted anything or how anyone did anything. All three bosses are going to be active at the exact same time. So it is a 3-target fight in which dot classes and 3-target cleave, or at least 2-target cleave, will do very, very good in. The bosses do need to die within a certain amount of time of one another. So if you kill, let's say everyone but Adaris, and these two are already dead, what's going to happen is they are actually going to spawn 2 crystals on the ground at their body. So there's going to be a crystal here and a crystal here. Their crystals are based off like the color that they are. So, Dark Sorrow's is probably purple, and Alyssa's is probably green, and I believe Adaris is blue. But essentially, these pulsate damage as long as one of the bosses is still alive. So you just need to ensure that these bosses die somewhat evenly, so that you're not taking too many of these pulsates. It was doing enough damage to kill people on PTR. So, but the boss seems incredibly straightforward. Soak the things you have to soak, get inside of the hunt. Don't be in this tank frontal, collect the souls of your tanks, and then collect more in this intermission, and then don't hurt your friends with these lines, and that's kind of about it. So that's it for the Soul Hunters, guys. I will see you at Salhadar. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.